I know there are some countries in Africa that don't experience that. That is Nigeria, and you have the president of Nigeria talking about taxing Nigerians into the ground. We don't even have electricity. You know, it's so unfortunate in 2025 that this is the situation, and you have a man, a criminal in the name of Bola Tinubu, that's talking about, coming to tax Nigeria into the ground by 2026 January. It's so unfortunate that we are in a country where the president is next to nothing but a criminal. Talking about taxing Nigerians in 2026, starting from January. Like, but this is not a Nigerian stream. I don't ever want to talk about the situation of Nigeria. There's nothing, like absolutely nothing to talk about when you bring Nigeria to the conversation. I don't want to make you all sad because today in Burkina Faso, 11 Nigerians were arrested. What were they doing? Now, it is very, very important for us to. I've talked about these things before. Um, First of all, they were arrested because they were trafficking Nigerians from Nigeria. They traffic them through Benin Republic and they get them to Burkina Faso. So what they were doing with these people is that they traffic them to Burkina Faso for prostitution. They traffic them to Burkina Faso for fraud, for online scam and all of that. So when they get to Burkina Faso, they give them a fake ID. Now you see that this new biometric ID in Burkina Faso, it has actually exposed a lot of things. And unfortunately, I am very, very disappointed to say this, but I know a lot of you might not be happy with me saying it, the Nigerians that are watching. Burkina Faso is not, when it comes to morality, Burkina Faso is not in the same conversation with Nigeria. It's two different. Burkina Faso and Nigeria they are not in the same conversation in anything. I'm being honest now. In Ghana, a lot of Nigerians have been arrested today for fraud. The same thing they arrested them for in Burkina Faso, they've arrested them in Ghana today. And I used to have a partner that lost her dad once upon a time, and a friend told her that there was an opportunity in Libya. Now, it is still the same Nigerians that are in Libya. Nigerians. It is not like maybe Libyan government or whatsoever. Yeah, 3 o'clock and 3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. So, I feel like this is Nigerian time over here, right? So, I feel like I want to be doing this every day consistently now. So, it will be like whatever we can't do, whatever we can talk about in the video, we'll bring it on the live session. I don't know how you feel about that, if that is good enough. Even if it's 20 people, if it's 30, I'm okay with it. As long as we're talking about the liberation of Africa and we're talking about what is going on in the AES, I'm good with it. Africa is our business. Now, a lot of people have been telling me, right, that why am I not talking about Russia and Ukraine and all of that? Russia and Ukraine is not my business. Look at my complexion, right? Russia and Ukraine is not my business. It has never been my business. It will never ever be my business. Yeah, TikTok user. I have a TikTok channel already. I have a TikTok channel. I have deleted everything I have on the channel because I was using the platform. I was using the TikTok platform for a different type of social media, posts before. But after Pan-Africanism transformed my life, because that is the fact. I was a machine, like I can say I was a machinery for the Western ideology before, because I was a good football analyst. So, but after Pan-Africanism came through, I stopped watching football. I don't know how it happened, but I'm this kind of person that when I get to my new reality, I absorb it. I don't shy away from it. So my new reality is Anything that props up the West strategically, it's not for me. Okay? And it's just my reality. My reality does not necessarily have to affect other people's reality. So why am I supporting the Sahel in the first place? I'm supporting the Sahel because one, this fight in the Sahel. Oh, thank you so much. You're welcome to the ANDRADE community from Sierra Leone. We really see you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining the fight, because this is a fight. If it's not a fight, you won't have grown-up men in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s, in their whatever demography you want to talk about. Every day they are launching propaganda against the Sahel, from Algeria, from France, from UK, from like no man, no man. So this is a fight for those that understand. So that's why I give a lot of credit to True Mamle. The reason why I don't give credit to Zach, like a lot of people have told me about Zach, right? I have seen Zach before, and I was there the day Zach said that Pan-Africanists, there was a way, I said it on this platform, for those that have been here for the longest, he made a statement. He said, Senegal is collaborating with France, and Senegal is collaborating with he mentioned some countries, and he said they are not like Nigeria, they are not like Pan-Africanists. There was a way you used that language, as if Pan-Africanists are this ultra African people that don't want anything else other than, so when I Zach Mukwesa or something like that. So when I heard the statement, I was like, okay, now there you go. I called him out. He changed after I called him out, because the community is so small. Life is a very, very small cycle, right? Zach Mukwesa, yeah, thank you very much. That's the name. So he has a very big platform, but I really, really appreciate the fact that the little ANDRADE community at the time was able to check him, and it changed. As small as the ANDRADE community is, we were able, I think we were about, was it 5,000 subscribers? We were able to check a channel of over 200,000 plus. So he took back the statement, then he started supporting the Sahel. And ever since then, you know, I see that he supports the Sahel, and he does a lot of credit. Like, I give him a lot of credit. He's a very, very good Pan-Africanist. But I don't, it will never be, look, when you betray the cause, even though you come back into the fold, you will never be, because this journey does not permit the smallest level of betrayal. For the older generation to lose Thomas Sankara, Blaise Compaoré had to betray with some group of bad bunch comrades that he had, and history will never forget it. So when I see someone that maybe because of money, maybe because of a certain amount of money you want to gain or something, you betray us Africans, like, man, stay right there, don't come back, because we cannot trust you again. So that is the reality of Zach. So when I see Zach now, official survivor, is a very, very, he's a strong Pan-Africanist. I think he's a Ghanaian. So when it comes to Pan-Africanism, I give it to the Ghanaians. The Ghanaians are strong people, very resolute, and they are so, the morality in Ghana is so high. I really, really give a lot of credit to the Ghanaian people. Let's give credit to who credit is due. You know what I mean? So, as I was saying, now the main conversation of today is the Malian capability. Assimi Goita said something, right? Assimi Goita said that yeah, betrayal is a thing for Africa. Yeah. And we need to get out of that shackle. I believe it's a shackle. I believe it's a mental manipulation. See, look, every little thing has a way of building up to produce a negative or positive result. So the thing about Africans that I've noticed is that Africans, they don't pay, sometimes they want to ignore the smallest detail. They be like, okay, it doesn't mean anything. To me, it means a lot, because you don't know who you are passing the wrong message to. There was something that happened in the Nigerian mainstream media. One of the biggest problems of Nigerians is their influencers, right? So he wanted to show the people how he celebrated his December 25 and all of that. And somebody brought him a gift. And he opened the package. What he brought out was bills of dollars, right? According to what was said, he said, Charles Okocha, that's the name. They said that's $50,000 in cash. So he was running about with it. Now, let me tell you what the message that is going to send to the younger generation. You see, the problem with Nigerians, why they are catching Nigerians in Ghana, wherever. Now, it doesn't take away from the fact that there are good, credible Nigerians. But there are some, especially the younger generation, whose demography is growing like wildfire. They've been used to this form of, you don't want to work for money, but you want to ride the best cars, you want to do this, you want to do that. When the Ghanaian was speaking today, I was just like, I get it. And you cannot come back and you cannot come back and deny the fact that these things are not reality. They are not the reality of Nigerians. You see young guys that are supposed to contribute to the economy of Nigeria, some way, somehow, but the only thing is fraud. Now, they get the money from the fraud. So it doesn't end. They continue. So it's greed, but it's not their fault too. It's the fault of the influencers. It's the fault of the people that they hold in high esteem. Now imagine when a politician steals 70 billion naira in Nigeria. 70 billion naira. And the Economic Financial Crime Commission does nothing about it. So what message are they sending to the young ones? That it pays to be corrupt. When you defend yourself against a terrorist in Nigeria, like Sunday Jackson, and the one who ended up overwhelming the terrorist that was with a firearm, discharged the firearm, missed his target, the victim ended up destroying the terrorist. He was sentenced to death. So you are teaching a certain group of the population that it pays to be a terrorist. So there are consequences to every action. Like that third law says that for every action there's equal and opposite reaction. So whatever you sow, you are going to take something back. You can't give out without taking back. Let's go to the Malian situation. It's very, very important that we talk about it. When Asemi Goita said a certain president in Africa called him when ECOWAS was about to invade Niger Republic, he said a certain president called him that they should stand down. They should let them have the freedom to invade Niger Republic. And he said the president told him that we are going to invade Niger, but the situation in Niger, that is different from the situation in Burkina Faso and Mali. Something just told me immediately that is the Nigerian president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That's the only person that can call Asimi Goita and make that kind of statement. It is because there is so much, even though the House of Rep, the Northern senators, they did not approve it. They were about to invade Niger. Because as unimportant as Bazoum the criminal ex-president of Niger, as unimportant, because there was a time Bazoum told France, I have the documents on my phone, he told France that France can come and pack all the uranium in Niger, that in fact it's better with France than with the Nigerians. And one of the positives I have to announce to you all now is that Niger is now experiencing good electricity. When I mean good electricity, they are now experiencing good electricity. Like it's nobody's business. That is how they are experiencing good electricity. You know the funny thing? There is this talk. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me clearly now? There is this talk about Nigeria being the giant of Africa. Like Nigeria, the giant of Africa, Nigeria, the giant of Africa. But that is old story. That is old glory. Nobody cares about that. The new reality of Nigeria right now is super diabolic. Economically, anything you hear about Nigeria on the social media is probably propaganda and lies. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. Propaganda, lies. Okay, to the people in the ANDRADE community, you remember the video we posted when the women in Lamodi local government of Adamawa state went to protest? Women, not men. And you all saw the vehicle of the Nigerian military, you saw their uniform, you saw everything. They opened fire on those women. Like the way the sound, the rounds that was fired, right? I started thinking, man, what type of men are this? Do you know how bad you have to be as a man to open fire on women? You are the worst of the worst. To open fire on any type of woman. But these are so it shows you the quality of men you have running the affairs of Nigeria right now. So can you now come out and tell us that that is still the giant of Africa? No, you can't. Because you don't have the facts anymore. Because from statistics and facts, Nigeria is now being governed by men who try to bully women. The episode of the Senate presidents with another Senator Natasha, and all of that. So I can't see all my comments. Okay, hold on. I can't see all my comments actually. I can't see all my comments. Let me check. Let me check. So, I mean, the situation of Nigeria currently is is such a way that it deserves a lot of pity. It deserves a lot of pity, but a lot of people would not accept. They won't accept. They would want to tell lies about it. You have hardliners in Nigeria that tell serious lies. They tell lies like that's the only thing they do. Yeah, the Fulanis, you know, they are expansionist by nature, and their interests, you know, like Asimi Goita said, that everybody has interests. So whatever you've noticed in West Africa is a war of interests. Actually, nothing in Nigeria belongs to Nigeria. Thank you very much for that statement. Thank you very much. Nothing in Nigeria at this moment belongs to Nigerians anymore. It's all been sold. It's all been sold. You know, so Nigeria is a diabolic place, right? This is the capital of Nigeria, right? That I am right now. But I can guarantee you that you saw how the light. Nigeria is a diabolic experience entirely. A diabolic experience entirely. Nigerians are not highly educated. Let's not get it twisted. I don't know what people think. See, look, I don't know how people understand the concept of education. When you say Nigerians are highly educated, sorry, I want to say something right now. When you say you are educated, what do you mean by education? Look, see, I'm a medical professional and I work in the hospital, and I tell my colleagues every day, I'm the kind of person that put a lot of people in check, right? Now, you are working, and everything you work with, you don't produce. So what type of education do you have? You are working with what has been given to you. You are an engineer in Nigeria. You say you are educated as an engineer. Some engineers cannot even open up a car engine and fix it back. Like you drop everything off and you recouple. They can't do it. Graduate engineer. And a lot of people come, and let me tell you this. The only time you know that Nigerians are educated is when they ask you. Go and notice this thing. I want anybody that have seen any Nigerian that is proud before. The first thing they tell you is, do you know who I am? Go and find out. Politicians, whoever. They'll tell you, do you know who I am? That's the first thing Nigerians say. Can you hear me? So, for you to know that a Nigerian is educated, is either he speaks a lot of English, and that doesn't look. Even when they want to travel out of the country, what does the colonialist? What does he subject them to? English test exam, English speaking exam, writing, and all of that. So the whole education that Nigerians have is the English education, nothing else. You know a lot of let me tell you something, right? You know a lot of educated Nigerians, but me, I am telling you now that when you talk about the concept of education, I don't know how you understand it, but by my own standard, I am an essential worker in Nigeria. I work for the federal government, okay? But I'm telling you now, when it comes to the productive, like when it comes to the capability of Nigeria as a country, we have no capability. A lot of people don't understand. Do you think when you go to school and you become, you take your certificate, you collect the paper, and you post around to be, that's no education, family. That is no education. Thank you so much for the donation, the 9172. I really appreciate it. That is no education. Please, let us see. This is the ANDRADE movement. It is different. This is not a regular channel. This is not a content creating channel. This is a high level, high thinking. We analyze to the very smallest details. Look at Russia, right? When Nigerians were talking about, they were bragging, they were talking about the war with Burkina Faso. Like they said, some of them were even talking, right? They don't know how to analyze. These are the same people you call educated. I'm a Nigerian. But one thing that I don't do, even at work, is that I don't stand with mediocrity. I don't stand with when you are lying. I don't agree with you when you are lying to yourself, because you have to first of all know your truth. Your truth is your reality before you address something that is in front of you. So let's go back to the Nigerian capability. Nigerians don't produce tire. They don't produce cars. When they went to Burkina Faso, what did Captain Ibrahim Traore say? He said if they need the help of the Burkinabes, they will help Nigerians to fix the C-130 Lockheed Hercules aircraft. See, there are levels to this. There are levels. And when you talk about war, listen. A lot of people you are overrating Nigeria. Do you know that during the Biafran War, do you know that Nigeria did not win the Biafran War? It took the help of UK, France, a lot of colonial European countries to defeat Biafra. One of the most formidable combat capable bloc of Nigeria.
I'm telling you. But a lot of people out of tribalism, they want to deny that history. Nigeria did not defeat Biafra one-on-one. If they had left them without the economic sanction that the West put on Biafra, the war would, maybe history would have been different. It took different countries coming to support Nigeria. When Nigeria fought Cameroon in Bakassi Peninsula, they lost. What are we talking about here? The whole year campaign in Benin Republic, like I told a lot of people, I don't know how people analyze a lot of things. People were talking about the air defense system of Burkina Faso. I know a lot of people don't really understand military capability like that. What a lot of people were, I'm not Igbo, I'm Yoruba, so I'm I'm a honest person. I'm not Igbo. You have Yorubas in Brazil, you have Yorubas in Benin Republic, you have Yorubas in Togo. We are a very diverse tribe, so I don't need to. I don't have that thing in me to sit with what should I call it? I don't look. I don't tell lies. I don't do it. I don't need it. It won't help me, right? My best friends are from all the tribes in Nigeria. I have a Fulani friend, I have an Hausa friend, I have a Yoruba friend. I've been to all parts of Nigeria. I was born in the southeastern part of Nigeria. I grew up in the Yoruba part. I grew up in the southeast equally. I spent 4 years in the north. I've gone to Kano State, Bichi. I've been to Kwara State. I've been to Sokoto. I've been to the Middle Belt. There is no part of. I've been to Elele in River State. I spent many years there. I've been to Delta State. Like, man. See, when I look at Nigerians, I look at all Nigerians like this. So that is why when Nigerians start telling themselves the wrong things about themselves, you have some people, the only job they have is when they wake up in the morning, they want to turn Nigeria against each other. So they come, they say things that, and oh man. That is why I said we need to decolonize ourselves. To bring Nigeria to where it used to be, first of all, we need a leader that comes and declare a public holiday for a national day of reconciliation that will start with Nigeria as a state apologizing to the Igbo people, the most marginalized in Nigeria. Let's call it spade a spade. Don't bring, we are not doing politics here. Understanding the capabilities of the Igbo people. I was talking to someone the other day. We're talking about the creativity of the Nigerian state, right? And when we were talking, and look, the same Hausa people and Fulani people, they have a way of contributing to this country. But you know, Nigeria is a country that is so, that's why they call them, the West call them the giant of Africa, because they completely emasculated the concept. Everything in Nigeria was emasculated. Tinubu is the in fact, don't talk about Tinubu is, oh man, no, don't kill my vibe. Don't mention Tinubu's name. So now, like I said, the Igbo people, when it comes to creativity, do you know that during the Biafra war, it came to a point, the Igbo people started manufacturing their own offensive capability? Do you know they were the first to manufacture an armor tank in Nigeria, even if it was locally improvised? It took the grace of God and the grace of the colonialists to bring down the Igbo people. The Igbo people were defeated as a result of starvation. And a lot of people will tell, see, when you look at the history, a lot of people say the Igbo people hate Nigeria. But when you look at that history on its own, so like I said, first of all, I don't care about your sentiment. Your sentiment don't have to be, it doesn't affect my reality. Is that Nigeria has to first of all apologize to the Igbo people first. And it must be a competent leader that can show results. And Nigeria, anybody that wants to lead Nigeria has to first of all pick up the criminal Nigerians. Those are the few. Now, there is a few that rules.
Those are the ones that separate Nigerians. They manipulate Nigerians.
Part of those few are the pastors, the clerics. Let me put it like that. It goes both ways for both religion. The most dominant religion, it goes both ways. Then it has now come to a point that the state of the root of Nigeria have been so emasculated to the point that the kings now are taking bribes. Kings. So the whole root of Nigeria has been so destroyed and damaged to the point that there is no conscience to what people do anymore. You will find out about, you will know all these things during the election period. France did not help the Igbo people. France did not help the Igbo people. Thank you for the donation. France did not help the Igbo people. Nobody helped the Igbo people. They fought the state of Nigeria alone. And they fought them to stand still until until their agricultural capabilities were knocked off. So as a person, as an individual, I understand that if Nigeria will ever come close to an industrial capability, if you ever come close to industrial sovereignty, it has to come with a Nigerian leader that understands the capability of the Igbo people as being a creative part, a strategically creative part of Nigeria. But because of tribalism, a lot of people don't agree with that. They rather perish into the ground than understand this reality. And when you have
look, Ibrahim Traore said something.
He said there is no efficiency without
competence. So when you are incompetent,
you can never be efficient. Now, when you are not efficient, you will now be looking for other methodologies to get yourself to where you don't belong. And that is how you end up having people like Tinubu. So, I speak to Fulani people. Whenever I go out, I speak to them. There are also people that sell things almost across the street here. When you are going, everybody see them. You know the problem? When people are walking, they see those people as if they are dirty people and stuff. I have almost all of them are my friends. Almost all of them. There is even one that whenever he's passing, he asks people, please, when you see him, greet him for me. Until Nigeria understand. Look, the people that are saying Nigeria, they don't even agree that there is something like Nigeria. Until Nigerians begin to identify that you don't have to agree that you are one, but you have to understand that there is a need to agree with the strategic capabilities of the different part of Nigeria. You bring that capabilities together and you work towards a shared interest. Look, I don't have to like you. I have to think about your interests. And your interests, look, if it doesn't align with my interest, we need to negotiate. That's the place of negotiation, and find a balance. It is when we have a balance that we can move forward. Can you make some concessions? Can I make some concessions? Nigeria is one of the biggest problems of Africa. If you don't know that now, please, you have to. One of the biggest problems of Africa. And if Nigeria, the situation in Nigeria is left unaddressed, everybody will feel it. Some Nigerians were arrested in Ghana today for fraud. Some were arrested in Burkina Faso for fraud. The youth protested, yes. They shot them and they killed. They eliminated a lot of Nigerians. I understand. I understand. They eliminated a lot of Nigerians. Now, during the last election, permit me to say this. I did not vote. I did not vote because I'm an essential worker. I was in the hospital working on that day. When I saw the way Nigerians were going to vote and they were, you know, the Tinubu regime, they used, you know, before he came to power, they used the thugs against the civilians. The civilians, even when they used the thugs, Tinubu still lost Lagos en masse. Like, the gap in Lagos was unprecedented. Now, the thing is this. In a free and fair setting, Tinubu will never come close to being the president of Nigeria. Now, every time the people of Nigeria want to revolt or do anything, there is always a suppression, there is always a manipulation and all of that. Well, in the last election, I thought Nigerians were going to be going to the polling unit in bunch, but they didn't do it. You are not going in group, you are going in bunch. I'm talking about 200 people going to a certain polling unit and going with enough, like, you see, the situation of Nigeria has gotten to the point that if you are going to vote, you are supposed to go to the election point with so much capability. I'm telling you, you arm yourself to your truth. That is the situation of Nigeria. You cannot vote in peace. You have people that protest. You will have the same regime deploy thugs to go and damage the protests. It's not like Nigerians are not trying. Don't get it twisted. Nigerians are trying everything they can to get this terrible, diabolic regime out of place. But, you know, it comes with like loss of life every time. So because they are underreported, does not mean it's not going on. I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. The level of unaliving going on from the bandits, from the Lakurawa, from the ISWAP, from the JNIM, from the Boko Haram. Now, the bandits, see, the bandits is a general name. There are different groups under this banner called bandits. You have Bilo Torji, you have Dori Kashala, you have Ado Alero. Now you have governors. Man, there are even state sponsors for these elements. So, I mean, Nigeria is not a place. Now let's go back to the main conversation. Mali. You see, they told Assimi Goita that they've already gotten the order. Nigeria is when Donald Trump, I'm sorry to say this, I don't know those Nigerians that are arguing on behalf of Nigeria that Nigeria was insulted. Donald Trump just told you the real reality of Nigeria, a disgraced country. A totally embarrassed country. How do you tell me that one of the poorest states in Nigeria, Kebbi State, they went to borrow loan? I posted the video and most of you saw it. They went to borrow loan to send some bunch of poor people to Hajj. Billions of naira. So for Nigeria to succeed, it will go a long way. To go a long way. It will take a leader that is very, very young. Because Nigeria is a big country and Nigeria will give you pressure. Nigeria will give you pressure. They come with a lot of pressure. And by the time you get to that position, they will build opposition. See, Nigeria was built by the West. That's just the truth. Nigeria was built by the West. And nobody is going to help Nigerians. Nigerians need to help themselves out of this mess. First of all, I was very, very excited. I think the revolution has started when I saw a group of Igbo people today on some platform. I have some Yoruba people too that are doing it. They are now campaigning against religion. I can't play you the videos, because they've seen the level of unaliving and they've seen that this is unprecedented. Under the banner of what? Religion. Now they are fighting back. Now they are beginning. I saw some group of Igbo people. If you look at Nigeria very well, the Igbo people are the most, should I say, Jewish, right? It's the Jewish part of Nigeria, and they are more like over 90% Christians. But now they are beginning to query everything they read in the Bible. I was on the live stream on TikTok today, and I was like, it took an unprecedented level of unaliving for people's brain to open. How will somebody, the bomb blast in Maiduguri today, right? The terrorists entered the mosque, took off his vest, Allahu Akbar, blew up everything. The blowing was unprecedented. So, you know, when you get unalived to a certain level, everybody will start asking himself, am I really sure that I was properly educated about this? Go and ask the terrorists in Burkina Faso. These guys literally run sometimes. They run. They don't wear bulletproof to the line of contact, right? So if you go to the line of contact and you're not wearing bulletproof, it means you want to meet your 72 virgins so fast. But why is it that when it's time for you to get that negotiation, right, you are running? No, you are not supposed to run. So Asimi talked about the capabilities, the strategic defense capability of Mali. And we, the Igbos, understand Nigeria more than... Yeah, that's true. So the capabilities of Mali, Asimi Goita was talking about it. And the way he was talking about it, he was talking about how strong and how incredible the capabilities are. Now, these are classified information. I don't know what the Malian capability is like. I don't know what the unified AES capability. I'm talking about strategic defense capability. I'm talking about equipment that you and I are not supposed to see. Because when the intelligence community starts seeing this equipment, they will start building counter capabilities to be able to shut it down. Now, I think that capability was put to test when Nigeria tried to cross their airspace. Now, funny enough, they scrambled their jets and, you know, they made the Nigerian aircraft land. That's the story. They made it land. It was not like it developed any technical fault. They made it land. So that's the version of the story that they're not telling you. The AES forces made that aircraft land in Burkina Faso. Now, imagine that there is a bloc in Africa that already has Article 6. When Asimi Goita was speaking yesterday, like I was like, this man has to be, he really needs to be joking right now. Like they have Article 6, family. And Article 6 is like, if you attack one of them, it's a declaration of war. So when Nigerians were talking about, oh, we are going to attack Burkina Faso, we are going to do this. First of all, do you know how many Nigerians are more Burkinabe, are more pro-AES than they are Nigerians? Because Nigeria is gone. Oh my goodness. The people that have sold Nigeria, they've sold and resold and resold and resold. In fact, Nigeria has been so sold to the point where I don't think there is anything left. So to get Nigerians out of those strategic locations that have been sold, they have to use the terrorists to get them out, displace them, and after some time you see that some NGOs start coming in, illegal mining starts. So Asimi Goita made us know that okay, there is a certain level of capability right there. And when I heard it, I was like, okay. Now, when I saw the unified AES force, right, the battalion, which was a conglomeration of forces from Burkina Faso, from Mali, from Niger, and I look at their surveillance capability, right? Now, from credible information that we received. Oh, sorry, lest I forget, there is one information that I've just been given now. I will get it across to you tomorrow. The Nigerian Armed Forces, I'll get it across to you today. The Nigerian Armed Forces had an encounter with JNI. Now, according to another information, some JNI terrorists are now leaving Niger Republic and they are coming back to Lake Chad, the Lake Chad area. That is the hub of Boko Haram and all of that. Now, there is another information that there is a Lakurawa branch that are now running towards Nigeria. Why? Because of the effectiveness of the Aksongo drone of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The blast radius of the Aksongo drone is unbelievable and it's seriously unprecedented. It's nothing like you've seen with the Bayraktar Akinci. And the Bayraktar Akinci drone, I think the latest operations I've been seeing, the number of terrorists that get taken, gets deleted with that drone is unbelievable. So now, when Asimi Goita talked about that defense capability, I was like, okay, now the main business. These people are really, really serious about their sovereignty. And it is the fact that I was watching a video of Ibrahim Traore one day, and he said they are coming to a certain point where they've actually ordered some strategic equipment. And you know, the thing about Burkina Faso is that, or Mali or Niger, is that once the order is coming, it's not like the order and okay, we are still producing. They sign strategic agreements with the right partners. Yes, Sahel is not a safe place for the terrorists anymore. You know. Now, you signing a strategic security agreement. Now, Captain Ibrahim, no, Asimi Goita said something. He said Russia, when it comes to military agreement, he said they have 2 layers of the agreement with Russia. Okay. See, when Nigeria was trying to annoy Russia, when they were trying to annoy the AES, you know, because I felt like the Nigerian authority were trying to annoy those guys. I was like, oh, good God, we would not believe what will happen. Now, some delusional people were saying that is it Russia that cannot defeat Ukraine? First of all, Russia cannot make Ukraine disappear because it is not in their interest to disappear, to make Ukraine vanish. No, it is not. And there are some strategic capabilities that they are going to deploy. Maybe when it comes to the nuke, right? The blast radius is going to affect some population of the Russians. But you are in Africa here. Oh my goodness. See, let's not pray for what is not good. So we thank God, we the lovers of freedom, that the unexpected didn't happen. You know, so everybody in Africa, I think they've learned to leave Burkina Faso alone. They've learned to leave Mali alone. They've learned to leave Niger alone. Now, I think what France is doing right now is, I think France is just trying to see if there is a way. I think they've given up. I think France have given up on this fight. But, you know, you've given up on something because you are not getting the answers you want, but you are just crashing, hoping that something will happen. Hoping that, when you look at the war with Ukraine and Russia now, the war is already lost, but the Europeans are still scratching, hoping that something is going to happen, right? If you look at the level of unaliving that the jihadists are being, you know, they are being made to go through in the AES, is unprecedented. Look at the last video we posted about the Futuri attack. Do you know how colonized, how much of a bedeviling you have to go through for somebody to tell you that it is ideal for you to go and unalive yourself? That person that is sending you that message is a complete, is a devil. Ignoring your capabilities, ignoring your potential, ignoring what you could even become, ignoring your dreams and everything. So the terrorists, according to the information we had the last time, they said recruitment has become very, very difficult. But like I said, there is only one place where they are getting these terrorists from. Now, I posted a video in one of my last few videos about the Almajiri. Now, those were the females. Now, the female Almajiri are not much. You see the male Almajiri, those are the ones that are much. God of mercy. They are in thousands. When you hear that Katsina State has 30,000 bandits, over 30,000 bandits, imagine if there are over 30,000 bandits. When they went to the Bakori local government for the peace talk, when I looked at the number, I was shocked. Yeah, France is not giving up because Nigeria is just around the corner. And if you look at what they are doing to Nigeria gradually and systematically, I think they want to use Nigeria as their staging point to destabilize West Africa. The first agenda is to use terrorism to destroy the country. And you hear one day ISWAP will say they want an Islamic caliphate. The bandits, nobody can tell me now that there's a road in Nigeria that you can pass through. A road in Nigeria that you can pass through and you can beat your chest. I mean, when you are going from state to state, that okay, this road I can travel at the speed of let's say 20 and nothing will happen to you. No, you can't do it. You can't go 20 kilometers per hour. You can't try it. And the bandits don't stop. They don't stop. The last one that happened, there was a soldier in the vehicle. They told everybody in the vehicle to identify themselves, and he identified himself as a soldier. They blanked him out immediately at point blank. You know, so the only thing is, I'm building up the ANDRADE community, right? Part of the reason why the ANDRADE community will be a strategic community will be 2027. So towards the late 2026, we'll start building the momentum to get Tinubu out of power. You see, that's why I continue to say we need more Pan-Africanists in such a way that when a president violates, there will be this team from all over the place there to where, in fact, it will look like an unprecedented campaign. If only our community, our black people all over the planet can work in one voice, in such a way that injury to one is injury to all, everybody is going to change. Give us a name to amplify to represent Nigeria. How? Please explain. France is like dead horse. Yeah. So now, let me say something, right? Imagine ANDRADE is not the only one going against France, the way I'm going against France. Imagine we have about, let me tell you something. If you look at the number of propaganda media platform that France continues to employ on should I say weekly or daily or whatever, you have to block a lot of them for you to have peace. You understand? I said even the AES summit, the official letter that came out, they had to twist and print the fake one. This is warfare at the very highest level. So for me, I think this community of Pan-Africanists need to become even more stronger. I'm not talking about the ANDRADE community. You see, I support True Mamle for a reason, right? there are some type of warfare that she cannot, I don't think she will want to get into. At some point, we have to get very, very, very strong to the point that, like what Ruto did, right? Like what Ruto did in Kenya to the Kenyan people. Imagine we have a strong Pan-African community that's organized, that is properly informed, that is working in a coordinated way, in such a way that as you are being pegged in Nigeria, the people in Ghana are pegging you, you are being pegged in Malawi, you are being pegged in Burundi, you are pegged in the United States, you are pegged in the UK, you are pegged in Canada, you are pegged in, like, every direction you turn to, you are the headline. And people are not just making, they are pushing different diplomatic, they are pushing both legal and every type of capability against you. I think people will start learning to, like, keep it a little bit honest. These are the long-term plan for a strong Pan-African movement. It's gradual. It's gradual. With a leader like Julius Malema. See, Julius Malema is not pretending. Now, you see, Pan-African movement does not care about you, does not care about your interest. It cares about the truth. If you discover something yesterday, General Abdurrahman Chani mentioned France directly. Assimi Goita mentioned Brussels. Ibrahim Traore has mentioned these guys several times. He's tired of even mentioning them. Right? So imagine a Pan-African community where I don't mind if 10 different people give the same information in different ways. I'm talking about opening new evidences and new realities. I can talk about what President Ruto had done, and I'm not giving all the information, but another person is giving all the information that I didn't give. And there's another person that is analyzing what President Ruto had done from a different perspective. See, Africa needs to get to that point because our leaders, I don't know what I can say about those people, but I think we're getting close to that point. So, the ANDRADE community, we have a lot of job ahead of us. For those that have chosen to join the Pan-African movement, we have a lot of job ahead of us. So right now, we have our hands full with the situation in the Sahel. Very soon, we'll start picking the continents, right? We'll start picking, Ruto, you know, there is a time for everything, right? There's a time for everything. So that's why you see that most especially me, my videos are always getting suppressed. You see things like is it review or something? You see it for like many hours. YouTube will tell me that they are still is it review, something like that, for 23 hours, 24 hours, and like, so we have to continue to go gradually, and when the time is right, the community will be unstoppable, the movement will be unstoppable. It's a Pan-African movement, and it is for all of us. Remember that when Davido traveled to France, we were the I believe that we should be the first community to call that travel out the way we are supposed to call it out. But a lot of people, they were fanboys, and guess what happened after? All the suspicions we pointed at, it's manifested, because now France is going to be heavily involved in the Nigerian affairs, and France is going to have data of Nigeria. The United States now, the Lagos port, the United States and Nigeria, they are working in collaboration. Guess what? They are getting data. Don't worry, they are getting there. Now the United States has just said something recently. The United States is talking about healthcare for Christians in Nigeria. Data. Data. Remember, when you want to assess that Christian healthcare budget that they are planning, they have to take your samples. Those samples are getting transported to the United States. It's already happening in Kenya. They are getting biological data of people. See, Africa is facing a lot, absolutely. But remember, Ibrahim Traore banned the Gates and his NGO movement in Burkina Faso, and till now, we've never heard anything about. Bill Gates is now so unpopular. It's not really as popular as it used to be. So the truth is that we need good presidents. That's just the truth. We need good presidents. Nigeria has a lot of capability. I'm talking about human capability. When it comes to people that are very intelligent, Nigeria has Nigeria have unbelievable people, but it will be very, very difficult for them to get there. Now, there is only one way Nigeria can take the initiative, is if the Nigerian youth can pick a candidate by themselves without taking a dime from that candidate, because money controls Nigerian politics. And if the youth want freedom, they have to negate that. They have to show that the new reality is not about money. It's about your credibility. They have to pick whoever they want to pick, that they can trust, that they can question. It has to be a young person. And they by themselves will be votes to support that person by themselves. It has to be a youth, maybe in his 30s or something like that. And when Nigeria, get to that point, you stand your ground. This is who we are voting for. We launch a serious campaign because it's free. We are not getting paid by anybody. We'll be able to launch the campaign to the very, very highest level. So, this is the point. And imagine if we now have a very, very little Pan-African community where this particular president, chair candidate, aspirant is getting publicity from almost every country on the planet. The money of Tinubu and whatever type of person that is corrupt, that is trying to, that the West is trying to impose, will not be able to do anything about it. I think we as Africans, we now have to come to a point now where the interest in, let's say, Burundi is our interest. The interest in Uganda is our interest. The interest in Lesotho is our interest. That is how it's supposed to be. Because injury to one is injury to all. There is no way the West will leave Africa alone unless Africa unites. So, okay. This is Africa here. It's the largest here. It's the largest here. Africa is the largest continent on this map, right? It's the largest. You have Europe here, but this is not, Europe is just a small dark part of it. You have Russia here, Russia, Siberia, and all of that. Then that is the United States over there, and you have Venezuela and all of these other countries. So Africa is the largest map behind me over here. So you need no worry about that. So I really, really need to appreciate everybody in the ANDRADE community. It's an opportunity. And the funny thing about the ANDRADE community is less than 6 months old, and ANDRADE community is less than 6 months old, and this is where we are. And I did not deploy all the capabilities that I can deploy. I did not bring anything like video editing. I did not really put in. This is just like, okay, let's see what happens, right? Let's just give raw information. If ANDRADE community starts putting everything the way it's supposed to be, I think this community will grow even faster. But we are just trying to be honest. We are trying to be as raw as we can be. So those that really have interest in the liberation of Africa can really join the movement. So when you join the ANDRADE community, you are already a soldier, you're a VDP. The front is evolving every day. And we are calling out, you know, we call out whoever gets out of line, because, you know, and we don't take, ANDRADE community does not take, yes, Ibrahim Traore has lit the fire under everybody. You know, I think that's I won't lie, Ibrahim Traore influenced me. You know, sometimes when I watch his videos, I just, you know, so I believe that the Sahel is not an ordinary place. You know, I think the revolution in Africa, God has decided that it will start from the Sahel. I know a lot of Nigerians they're not accepting that reality. They think if there will be anything in Nigeria, in Africa, it has to start from Nigeria. No, it necessarily. You saw what Maponga said. Maponga said we won't wait for Nigeria. You know what I mean? But there is a mistake right there. There is a mistake right there. Nigerians support Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Look, the people you see that you call Nigerians are just the criminals in position. And the people they pay. Do you get what I mean? The people they pay. The real Nigerians, like me, like a lot of other, I said I was out on the streets to ask people, you know, about if there is an election between Tinubu and Traore. We did not get one person. These are people that has no education. The counselor of this community, the counselor of this world, does not play with Ibrahim Traore. He makes sure he watch Ibrahim Traore. A lot of people you don't understand how the reputation of Ibrahim Traore in Africa. See, Ibrahim Traore is a movement. He's no longer just a person, it's a movement. In Africa, in Europe, in North America. Like, Ibrahim Traore is so known, even in Venezuela. So, you know, Nigeria will move. Nigeria will move, but it will take time, you know, because Nigeria is big. Nigeria will move forward. But the tools that the imperialists have planted in Nigeria, they are so much to the point that it will be difficult to get Nigeria out of, you know, this shackles. You know, if you want to get Nigeria out of these shackles, you have to work on the youth. You have to continuously invest your time and energy, and you know, in the youth. The youth have to understand. The youth have to know. Then the youth will infiltrate the older generation gradually. So, but first of all, for Nigeria to have any type of progress, majority have to think the way I think. And how do I think? To see Nigerians as, like, okay, the Igbo people, right? They are great people. The Yoruba people, they are great people. The Hausa people, they are great people. Like, we have to first of all, look, you don't have to like me. You have to get your interest together and see my capabilities. That is what you have to like. You don't have to like what I look like. The white man don't differentiate between any black person. They are looking at your capabilities. You have to look at the Igbo people, that they are very, very strategic. If Nigeria will ever have, I'm telling you, the Igbo people, what they will bring to the Nigerian economy. Huh? The Fulani cannot bring, I'm so sorry to say this, the Fulani cannot bring it in a I don't know. This is the truth. Like, I don't know, like, I've said this many times over, and even at work you have people that wants to attack me and all of that. It's the truth. I don't buy the lies. I've been in we have to educate our youth. And look, I don't even see the fault in an Igbo person speaking his or her language. And don't equally get angry with a Yoruba person speaking the language, or a Fulani person speaking their language, Fulbe, or Hausa person speaking Hausa. Do you know that me and my Hausa friend, we make jest of ourselves? If they call me Magana, I turn it upside down and I call them the same thing, but everybody laughs, right? Love your see. Look, you cannot tell me you have a religion, you worship God or you worship anything, and you don't love your neighbor as yourself. What's the first commandment? And it's not your fault. It's not the fault of Nigerians. I knew how hard I fought against the older people in my place of work that were telling the younger generation about the Biafra war. They were telling them about the negative aspects. These people are your Nyamiri. These ones are. I was like, what type of human beings are this one? You are trying to download a like 100 years old of like hatred. You're trying to bring it down to like, stop this. I know how hard I fought my partner to change the mindset she has against the Igbo people. We fight almost every time that conversation happens. Don't do that. Don't do that where I am. Don't say that. Don't say that about the Fulani people. Don't say that about the Hausa people. Everybody has their weakness and everybody has their strength. First of all, look at when you love every Nigerian the same, then that is when you can have the discretion to pick out the criminals and eliminate them. No love lost. They are criminals. They are harming the people that you love. First of all, you cannot eliminate the criminals in Nigeria without loving Nigerians. So because you love Nigerians equally, that is when you will see a terrorist that have just done something bad and you'll be like, executing with immediate effect. Because you cannot afford to have or to lose a Nigerian, a strategic Nigerian, because a terrorist is not a strategic Nigerian. So that is how it has to be. You have to love your people first before you even talk about defending them, regardless of who they are. So this is what we want Nigerians to know. It is not about going to one church where they tell you, oh, the fruit of the Gentile or something. You cannot give money to somebody that is suffering, but you want to go and use it to do big man or whatever in church. No, don't do it. Humanity comes first before every other thing. So, and we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to preach competence. We have to continue to improve our capabilities as our human capability, our mental capability. We have to be competent people before we can go against the West, because it is what you have inside you that would see. There's something they call fundamentals. When all the roads are blocked and everything fails, naturally you will go into a reset, and the only thing that will be left for you is your fundamentals. Let us get the fundamentals right, and we are good. So families, I don't know if you enjoyed the session. I don't know if you like it at all. I want to appreciate the people that donated. So yeah, that is the thing. How can you eat well when another person is starving, right? Thank you, family. Look, you all are the best. You all are special. And let me not lie to you, man. I helped somebody recently. No, I didn't help the person. The ANDRADE community helped somebody recently. Okay, let me say that now so that you all can hear it. I'm about to give 1.3 million naira to some group of Nigerians. This money came from the ANDRADE community. It's not my money. So when the person told me about the problem, and I was like, okay, how many people? They said, okay, I'm going to do it. Don't worry, go away. I'm going to do it. The person thought maybe it's because I have people that have made it possible for me to be able to deploy this, right? So you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Okay.